We are live, and since Adam's not here today, I will do the introductions. Hi, guys. This is Hump Day Hangouts episode 93. It is August 17th, 2016. We've got Chris and Hernan and Marco on with us today. I'll go right down the line. Hey, Chris, how are you?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's hot, though, here, man. I feel like I'm starting to sweat. I got this stupid curtain up behind me, and the air conditioning doesn't flow, and the curtain, it doesn't circulate. And it's like 100 degrees in Virginia right now. It's nasty. It's hot. But Hernan, how are you doing?
Hey guys. Hey, what's up? It's the price of success. You know what I mean. You need to look pretty on camera, so you need to ditch the air conditioning. Hey guys, what's up?
And last but not least, Marco, how are you?
A lot better than you, it seems.
Apparently.
Moved to Costa Rica, man.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Well, we've only got a couple announcements today because, again, Adam's not here, and he's the king of that. So a couple of them. Number one is the Video Marketing Blitz webinar, bonus webinar for anybody that purchased Video Marketing Blitz through the promotion we did with Abs. That's today. That's immediately following Hump Day Hangouts. Mastermind members can all attend regardless of whether you purchased or not. Anybody else, you have to have been a purchaser in order to attend the webinar. It's a case study in a webinar, and I'm actually going to be laying this out during the webinar today, but I'm going to do another follow-up webinar, second one, basically, for this case study in 4 to 6 weeks. So there will be a secondary follow-up webinar to the one that we're doing today. If anybody did not pick up Video Marketing Blitz and you're interested in it, you can still do it, and you would still get the recording sent to you, or the replay sent to you after today, and then the follow-up webinar in 4 to 6 weeks. You would also be able to attend that. I will drop this on the events page, just in case anybody's interested. Video Marketing Blitz. And then what we're going to do is do it, like I said, do a follow-up webinar on that, because there's some things that I want to do with the case study to take it even further. And so that's something that I definitely want to schedule. Excuse me. The next one is Content Kingpin. Content Kingpin is our content marketing training program that's going to be coming out. It's launching on August 30th, Tuesday, August 30th. So if anybody's interested in that, Hernan's going to drop a link for, if anybody's interested in promoting it before the launch or for the launch, Hernan's going to drop a JV page link right on the event page. Go ahead, Hernan.
I'm dropping it. I'm dropping the link now. So if you want to promote, we're launching pretty soon, and it's going to be a pretty badass funnel. So if you guys want to join, I'm dropping the link here.
Yep, and that's in 13 days from today. So, and then last but not least, Hernan's got a post that he did, a guest post on the SEM Rush blog, and so we need to. We're going to ask everybody that attends the Hump Day Hangouts to go +1 it, like it, share it, tweet it, do whatever you want, comment on it, but show Hernan some love. So this is Hernan's SEM Rush post. I'm going to drop the link on the event page. Okay, it should be there. And yeah, guys, go show that post some love. Every time he gets to do a guest post for us, we all try to support those as much as possible. So with that said, we can get into questions. Does anybody else have anything? Chris, Hernan, Marco?
I'm good. Let's jump right into it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do this, man.
Let's get into it then. I'm going to grab the screen. Hopefully you guys are seeing this okay.
Yep, we see the full screen. Okay, so, yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we're going to start at the bottom. Akan or Akan, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but he says, please, I want to be clear about the SEO thing. I'm about to go into CPA. Now, most of the companies would prefer traffic from a particular geolocation. How will we be able to use your network to achieve this? Let me know what. I guess that was the end of the question. That's a good question. I'm going to let Hernan or Marco talk about that, since you guys do more like geo-targeted stuff outside of the U.S.
Yeah, definitely. And there are some. Sorry about the background noise, guys, by the way, but yeah, there are some CPA offers that will only work with foreign languages and whatnot. It's all about optimizing the network and the website to receive foreign traffic. You know, if you're doing like Spanish traffic, as I'm doing, and also doing some Scandinavian traffic. So it's all about the content. You can also use JSON-only on your website and the posts and whatnot. So it's all about optimizing to gather traffic and rank yourself for those particular keywords. So it's nothing that far away from English. You just need to have in mind that there's a bunch of things that we have been talking about, for geolocations in English and in foreign languages. It's work pretty much the same. So have that in mind.
Yeah.
And in case you get some traffic that is not for that particular geolocation, you can just redirect it, send it to another offer.
And you do that on the website via some sort of script, correct?
Either that, or if you have, like, for example, volume as a tracking or some other tracking platform, you can usually do it there.
Okay. So the tracking platform would actually determine where the visitor was coming from and redirect to an appropriate offer, right?
Well, I use the tracking one, but you can do it either way.
So there you go. That's something that's out of my realm because I typically just deal with U.S. stuff, so I don't have to worry about it. But thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Justin says, hey, Brad, I made approximately 50 videos and launched them on my branded network with supporting IFTTT networks. I've been monitoring them for about a month now. Some were doing really well, some were doing so-so, and others were just not ranking anywhere near the first or second page of Google. A few days ago, I noticed that every single video has now fallen out of the top 100. I was gearing up to start monetizing them. I put months of work into them. I'm really bummed. I don't know what to do. What if they never come back? What do I do in the meantime? As time is of the essence, I haven't made a single dime yet. Thanks, Brad. Okay, so P.S. I have not yet started backlinking or boosting anything. These are straight vanilla. I took the videos, streamed them to my branded network, and then it took me weeks to silo every single video. They were fluctuating, but most videos were in the top 100. Now 95% of the videos are nowhere to be found. It's like it happened overnight, which is leading me to believe that there is an issue on my end. ProRank Tracker isn't even tracking them properly, as I've been looking at the ones that are ranking, and they aren't even there. I can't find them doing a Google search. Really weird. How do I start working on contacting prospects when I don't even have any videos and I'm able to locate using Rank Tracker? Hope this has this ever happened to you before? Please detail the best course of action at this point in time. Thanks so much. All right. Well, here's a couple things, Justin. Number one is welcome to the world of SEO. That's part of the process. I'm not saying that to be a dick. I'm saying that because that's what happens sometimes, man. I mean, sometimes you work on stuff and then you end up losing the asset, and it sucks. It really sucks. It happens to all of us. Anybody that's been doing SEO for any period of time has had it happen before, and it's probably going to happen again. We try to limit or mitigate. We try to reduce the risk of that happening as much as possible, but it's unavoidable 100% of the time. In other words, there's always going to be times where you're going to lose assets, and it sucks. So my first point of advice that I would make to you, and this is something that I learned over time, is to not put all your eggs in one basket. And I say that all the time on these guys, but what I mean by that is, instead of putting, I understand you created 50 videos and it's across a network, or a couple networks, whatever it is that you've got, and you put all of your work into that. You even mentioned it in your comment that you've been working on those for months. And I get that, and I understand that, because you want to, that's really dialing in and focusing. What I want to suggest, number one, is that you always are building new assets constantly while you're waiting to get some of them to rank. So for example, once you've created digital assets, whether it's a YouTube channel with several videos, or a website that you're going to use for local lead gen that you're trying to rank in maps or organically, whatever, doesn't matter what it is. Once you've created that asset, it's going to take time for you to get them to rank. Time and consistent effort for you to get them to rank, right? Again, it doesn't matter whether it's videos, websites, or whatever. But instead of, once it's built, focusing all your energy on just getting that digital asset to rank, you should also always be continuing to build more assets, because this is going to happen from time to time. And the problem with building an asset and then putting all of your attention into ranking that asset is, if this happens, you're stuck. You're left with nothing, right? You've lost it all, and that's apparently what happened to you, Justin. And I can tell you from personal experience that I did the same thing when I first got in the SEO. I built 2 local lead gen sites, One was in the locksmith industry, the other one was the carpet cleaning industry. And I built those two sites. They were awful. God, looking back, they were terrible. But it's all I knew how to do. And I spent 6 months trying to rank those two sites. And I ended up ranking the carpet cleaning site in Alexandria, Virginia, #1, but it took me 6 freaking months to do it. And yay, I was super excited, right? But I only had one asset that was monetizable at that point. And then so later on, when I started to get better at doing it, and I was able to repeat the results, I still made the same mistake. I would build like 2 or 3 tree service sites. Once I got into the tree service industry, which is a hell of a lot more lucrative than carpet cleaning, I'll tell you that. But once I got into the tree service industry on generating leads for that, I would build 2 to 3 tree service sites, and then I would focus all of my attention on ranking those sites. And sometimes it would take me a month, sometimes it would take me 90 days, sometimes it would take me more. But what I should have been doing was building more and more sites at all times. I should have been building 3 or 4 sites per month is what I should have been doing every single month, month in and month out, because some of those assets would rank quickly with little work, while others would take a long time to rank with a lot more work. But then I had multiple little streams of revenue coming in from various sources while I was working on the digital assets that were taking longer to rank, if that made sense. So, and if in the event anything were to get slapped or penalized or de-indexed, which again, when I first got started, that happened to me a lot because I was always testing the limits. It wasn't so catastrophic because I had other assets that were producing revenue or close to producing revenue. So my first suggestion to you would be that, even though I understand you put a lot of work into that, and that sucks, dude, there's no doubt, and I completely sympathize with you. But at the same time, you should constantly be building new assets at all times so that this doesn't happen again. So that's number one. Before I move on, does any one of you guys want to comment on that?
I just wanted to add something real quick, Bradley, to what you say, which I think it's super accurate. There's something that I really like about, for example, Terry Kyle, that he will say, if, in order to be efficient as an SEO, you need to be putting out as many properties as possible, because right off the bat you do not know what's going to rank and what's not.
That's right.
And that's true, and that happens to everything. It happens to videos. It even happens to pages from within the same website. Some pages they will rank and some others don't, and some pages will rank for the wrong keywords. But the point here is that you become a much more efficient SEO when you start focusing on the winners. That is, when a page, a video, or a website is ranking on page 2 or page 3 for a term, even before you started, optimizing it, you have a winner. Some videos will rank like instantly, and some others won't. There's some randomness into that, which I think it makes a lot of sense. So, at some point you live and you learn, Justin. So it is what it is. But it's better to be efficient with your time and keep cranking out those websites and double down on the winners.
Yeah. And the other part of that I want to. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Marco.
If I can stop you for a second. Sure. I'm looking at this, and I'm going to say that all isn't lost, man, because he said he did have some ranking near
They'll probably
first,
come back.
Yeah, near first and second page. But even if they don't, he has really good intelligence on what's ranking and what won't. And so all he has to do is take these videos, make these unlisted on these channel, create 2 new channels, divide up the videos, re-upload them. I'm not sure the speed of upload. That might have hurt him. I don't know how quickly he uploaded the 50 videos. I hope it wasn't all at once, because that might have had something to do with it. But if his branded network and the supporting IFTTT networks are still good, and he should check them and see, then all he has to do is rerun the videos in new channels for whatever was ranking, and just add supporting videos in that vertical, so that he sticks that first page ranking, and from that second page to first page. So that's it may seem like all is lost right now, Justin, and I can understand that it happens to all of us. I've lost websites. I've lost. Hernan knows I had one that was cranking out, making me some really decent money, and then Google went in and said, "No, you can't do that." And then all of a sudden you go to zero, right? You're not making any money from it.
Yeah.
But everything isn't lost, because you learn a lot from this. You learn what ranks. You learn what doesn't. You also learned what not to do. And so now what you need to do is you have the videos, you've already produced them, unlist them, push them into another network. If you want to build another IFTTT tiered network, which this is video and it's perfectly good, do that. Go into Video Powerhouse and push the videos. I mean, there's tons of things that you can do with the information that you have. So, yeah. It may seem like all is lost and you're depressed and whatever, but you have a lot of good information that you can use, man.
That's true. And to kind of piggyback on what you just said, Marco, because I totally agree, is, you know, you should already have some data about the keywords that were ranking, you know, which videos were ranking. So you've, just like Marco said, you've identified through this process at least the target out of your 50 keywords. You know which ones were performing the best. So those would be the ones that I would duplicate and, you know, upload to a new channel first, because those are the ones that are going to get you the results the quickest. Okay. Also, like Marco said, you could just create a new channel, and you could go actually connect the new channel to your existing IFTTT networks and just use the same network. So you don't even have to build new networks. And just, like, again, like Marco said, unlist the videos on the channel that are not, you know, your original channel. Here's the thing. You've already syndicated those videos to your networks from the original channel, of which, for whatever reason, right now your videos aren't ranking. And again, I suspect that they may end up coming back. But if they don't, the point is you've already syndicated those. So you've already got those embeds from those videos already out across the web, across multiple properties, multiple networks. So there's juice flowing into those flowing into that channel. Even if those videos aren't ranking, if you unlist those videos and then drop links in the description of the unlisted videos to the new videos that you upload to the new channel, you can use the same videos too. You don't have to recreate the videos. Just use the same videos. Just upload them to a new channel. Then point from the existing or the old channel with a link in the description to the new video. Even though it's unlisted, it just means it won't show up in the index anymore. But it will still push juice. And so you've already got some assets out there on the web that, even though they might not be indexed or ranking, doesn't mean that you can't utilize them and help you to rank the new videos that you're going to publish to a new channel. Okay? And lastly, what I want to say about that is, I wouldn't wait. You know, you tell in this first paragraph here, and again, Justin, these are all the types of mistakes that I made as a newbie or as a, you know, early in my career, I should say. And so, you know, don't feel bad, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate. But with you're talking about how you did 50 videos and you worked on them for months and all of this, and then you say down here, how do I start contacting prospects when I don't have any videos I'm able to locate? So my point is, why would you go after 50 videos? And I'm saying this like to everybody in general. Why would you go after 50 keywords and 50 videos and try to and work on all of that for months before ever trying to contact a prospect? My point is why not work on 5 videos maybe? And as soon as you get some results, start contacting prospects so that you can start bringing revenue in. Because just like you said right here, as time is of the essence, as I haven't made a single dime yet. And for months you've been working on this and you hadn't made a dime. Don't wait until you have 50 videos that are perfect and that are ranking before contacting prospects. Rank 5 videos. Out of the 50, you said some of them were ranking. Those you should have immediately started contacting prospects on and trying to sell that service or rent them or whatever, however you were monetizing those videos. You should have done that so that you can immediately start generating some revenue that then you can reinvest back into building your infrastructure further. So my point is you know, if you wait till everything's perfect, you may never make any money. And it's better just to start monetizing what is working for you as quickly as possible so you can start generating revenue and then reinvesting that back in your business as far as additional training, outsourcing services, maybe some tools, whatever it is. And I'm not talking about shiny object syndrome. I'm talking about useful stuff for your business. Okay? So the best course of action, I think we outlined a couple good ones for you, man. That would be, you could use the same networks. What I would do is just go ahead and create a couple new channels. And again, spread it out. Don't put it all on one channel. Build a couple channels if you need to. Tie them into your existing networks. That's fine. You can have more than one channel syndicate to a single network, guys. You can do that. So if you wanted to, you could do that. Okay, if you're you know, especially since you say time is of the essence, I would try as my quickest and hardest to get the videos that I already knew were ranking back out on the web as quickly as possible from new channels and see if that helps. And then just go and list the original channel, but put a link in the description to the new video, and that way you can push some of that existing juice that's flowing into that channel from the embeds and the syndication over to the new video, and you should get even better results even faster, if that makes sense. All right. That was a great question, Joe Justin. I'm sorry that happened to you. Marcin says, hey Bradley, which silo structure would be more appropriate for music video playlists? Should it be monosilo for keyword group or silo for tough keyword? The music type is highly competitive and there are loads of very strong channels to compete with. Any suggestions? Ooh, that's a good one, Marcin. That's not one I've never dealt with anything in the music industry. So to be honest with you, I would just be giving you a wild ass guess right now. But I would have to look into it a little bit further, but I would probably go with the monosilo. And anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, go check out YouTube Silo Academy if you don't know what we're talking about. But for monosilo, that's where you link from one video to the next, to the next, to the next, and then at the end of the chain in the playlist, you link back up to the first video, and then you also always link up to the playlist. And that's probably how I would do it without any additional data, is what I'm saying. If I were to look at how you were trying to silo or group the keywords or the videos, it might change my wild ass guess. It might change my recommendation to you. But just with very, very little data here, probably a monosilo would work really well for something like that. But again, I can't swear to that without knowing more. Anybody else want to comment on that one?
No, I think I think none of us actually makes anything music related, which is funny because we are kind of varied on what we do. But yeah, I would second what you said, Bradley. Like, see what the competition is doing. I would still monosilo the entire thing. And when you're doing, I pasted the link of YouTube Silo Academy. It's only $7, so you can check it out. But when you're doing pretty much any kind of channel, you need to treat your channel as you would do your website. So definitely using a silo structure would help your YouTube rankings and your Google rankings way better. But we will probably need to see what's going on in the music industry, which is a big industry, by the way.
Yeah, the monosilo structure is very, very strong, and it I like to use that a lot. It's quite a bit of work though. There's manual work involved in actually collecting all the links from the videos within the playlist, and then organizing them, and then linking from one video to the next to the next. So, and that's what Justin, I think, did in this in here, where he was talking about having 50 videos and then siloing them together. And so, if I'm doing a lot of videos, because of efficiency reasons, I won't do a monosilo. In that case, I will just do a standard silo, which just means all I'm doing is linking back up to the playlist, and that's it, from within the video description. Because that's essentially the playlist itself links to each individual video within the playlist, but then within the individual videos, I put a link back up to the playlist, right? So it's essentially linking back to the top of the silo. And so when I'm doing a whole lot of videos in a silo, then that's the route that I go, is the simple silo method, because it's so much faster to set up, because essentially it's just a playlist link that goes into the video description. It's not a unique link. I mean, it's the same link in every video description in that entire playlist. Whereas with a monosilo, you need the next video URL. So like in this video description that I'm editing right now, I would put the link to the next video in the playlist. And then in the next video, I would put the link to the following video in the playlist, and so on and so forth. So it takes more customization as far as the video description goes. It works really well, but typically I will only do that if I'm dealing with a small number of videos in a particular silo. If I'm going to be doing multiple videos in one silo, then I'm just going to stick a link up to the playlist, and that's it, because I'm trying to be efficient with my time. So also test it. If you wanted to, Marcin, I would recommend setting up 2 different playlists, with maybe 2 different music groups or music genres or whatever, and testing and trying one with a monosilo, one without, and see what kind of results you can get. Because if again, that's how we figure out what works, and it's going to be different for every industry, for every keyword. It really is. You need to just play around with the multiple methods that are available to you to determine which ones are going to give you the best results. Dean says, regarding link building to IFTTT properties, how does one check what links and or anchor text ratio have been successfully built to a property if, for example, links have been bought from other organizations than Semantic Mastery? Because upon checking Majestic SEO, it would appear that little to none of their properties seem to get crawled by Majestic. Haven't checked others. I use some of Semantic Mastery IFTTT properties to check, as mine are not old enough to maybe show data yet. I'm wondering if they ever will. Dean, a lot of those, because of their, the spam type properties that we post to with GSA and the various types of link building tools that we use, they don't get crawled or indexed by Majestic and or Ahrefs. At least I haven't used Ahrefs much in about the last 2 years because I've been pretty much using Majestic only. But about 2 years ago, when I was using Ahrefs more than Majestic, I noticed that Ahrefs picks up a lot more of the backlinks than Majestic. It may have changed. I don't know. But I always noticed that Majestic didn't pick up a lot of spammy or low-quality links. They just won't index them. And you got to imagine how hard it is on their servers to try to keep track of all of those. So I think, and I don't know this to be true other than just from my own observance, but I think that if there's a certain threshold that a link has to have in order for it to be included in the index, and that's, or unless you manually force it, which means, like, for example, if you were to get the link report back from a service and then manually submit them to Majestic to be crawled, and even then that doesn't guarantee that they will be. So as far as that, I mean, really the only thing that you could do is go off of the link reports that are provided to you by your link building provider, service provider. Whoever's doing the link building services for you should provide you with the link report. And then all I would recommend doing is just taking, I mean, most link builders are going to submit that list of links that they built for you to some sort of indexer anyways. But once you receive that report, what I always do is I always go resubmit those links through my own indexers, my own indexing accounts, so that I'm making sure that they're being crawled and indexed. Okay? At least, wait, let me rephrase that. So that I make sure that they're being crawled. It doesn't mean that they're going to be indexed. And again, when just like what we talk about, Dean, there's a lot of people that ask questions about IFTTT network properties not showing, the links from their IFTTT network properties not showing up in Majestic or Ahrefs. And we talked about that many times as well. If you have your websites connected to Google Search Console and you go look in the Search Console at inbound links or links to your site, you'll see the links from Delicious and WordPress and Tumblr and Digo and all of that. But you won't see it in Majestic or Ahrefs. So it doesn't mean that those links aren't there. It just means they're not being indexed in Ahrefs or Majestic.
Right. Yeah, just to add to what you were saying, I mean, the only thing that matters in that case is what Google is saying that he sees or it sees, you know. So that's why we, and many of the IFTTT properties are Data Hub partners as well. So they share data with Google. So you can definitely see that on Webmaster Tools. Now, what I usually do, Dean, is to grab the top 5 sorry, the top 5 competitors, the guys that are ranking on page 1, and plug them into Majestic or Ahrefs and see what kind of anchor text they are using, because usually you will get a ton of branded and long tail anchor text from IFTTT. Now if you want to be, if you want to sculpt a little bit the anchor text, you want to go with other link sources, like for example press releases. Okay, press releases will help you a ton on that case. So just grab the top 5 and see what they're doing on a page level and also on a root level. You want to see the root, which kind of backlinks and the anchor text they are getting, and also the page that's ranking, because usually you will see that, on the big websites you will see that the root is highly de-optimized. I mean, like 80 to 90% of that it would be, branded or URL anchor text, while the internal page would be much more aggressive. But it makes sense, if you have like a big newspaper, the home will get backlinks from, I don't know, go visit the NewYorkTimes.com, and then when you're talking about a news in particular or an internal page, then people will link as an exact match, So it makes a ton of sense to do that. That's what I do usually. That's what I usually do. Just because you're not showing on Majestic doesn't mean that they do not count, because Webmaster Tools will actually report on those. So you need to combine tools on that case. That's my point.
And for most link building providers, if you're going to be outsourcing your link building, that are going to be building, spam links essentially, any good link building provider is going to ask you for the list of keywords, and it's going to be asking for a large number of keywords, especially for spam tools. Like, for example, if you buy link building service from us, we have, what do we require? At least 200 keywords? Something like that. It's a lot. And the reason why is because, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Bradley, but we're asking actually for 500 keywords.
Okay. I thought there was a range, but yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, for any kind of link building package that you're getting from us, we are asking for at least 500 keywords. We tell you, we give you a tool to generate those as well, you know, based on Google Suggest. But you know, for Airways Academy link building, for IFTTT link building, they are all 500 keywords at least.
Yeah. And that's because, again, if we're going to be building a mass quantity of links, we need a very diverse set of anchor texts. And so that should be determined before you purchase the link building package. I mean, those are typically things that you should look for from a reputable link builder, you know, a spam tool link builder. All right. So, like, you'll notice like a lot of Black Hat forums and stuff where people run GSA blasts and stuff like that, they will ask for similar criteria.
Yeah. Now, if you go to Fiverr, for example,
yep.
Those guys, they will ask you for 5 keywords. Yep. You know, and all the links will look the same. So, I would say away from those.
All right. Next question is Clark. He says, when you are building a pay-per-call asset using IFTTT, can you only rank videos, or do you need to create a branded website as well? How does Google My Business play into your strategy? No. Typically, Clark, what I do is I test stuff with videos first. It's not always the case, but a lot of the times I like to test keywords in like new areas. For example, whether it could be new keywords in like a new industry, so I've got to test new keywords altogether, which I don't like to do very often. I try to stick to the niches I already know, or if I'm going into a new area that I haven't been into yet, like a new location, then I like to test with videos, and that's just to give me an idea of what you know, what the competition is like and how easy or how fast I can rank. But that's not always the case either, though, Clark. And the reason I say that is because it might be simple to rank a video but difficult to rank a web page. And likewise, it might be simple to rank a web page and difficult to rank a video. So my point is I don't always do that, but typically what I'll do is I'll use some sort of spam tool, you know, a video spam tool, or let me rephrase that. I'll use a tool to create video spam to test for keywords, and then once I've identified some winners, I'll go in and build out some other assets, such as a local website, maybe a Google My Business page or whatever. But that's not always the case. I use 2 different ways to test. I'll either test with video spam or I'll test with web spam, like straight up you know, page spam, like using like Lead Gadget or Surfshaker, or you know, any sort of plugin like, or sort of mass page builder like that. To test on those keywords. But no, pay-per-call assets don't have to just be videos. They can be whatever it is you want. The idea is, as long as you can get something to rank in the SERPs that can generate a phone call. The call to action is to make a phone call, then you can get paid from it. Doesn't matter whether it's a video, a Google My Business listing, so a Maps listing, it could be just a website ranked organically, a Facebook page, it could be any one of those things. Okay? Press releases can work wonders for pay-per-call. You know, they really can. If you can rank a press release in a high volume area, and press releases are typically a lot easier to rank than a website. So that's something else that can be done. So there's a lot of different assets that you can rank for pay-per-call stuff. It doesn't have to be just videos. Okay. For the branded website, guys, what I like to do is once like for lead gen especially, see for just straight pay-per-call assets, if you're talking about like using a pay-per-call exchange, I don't worry about branding anything for that. I really don't, because I'm looking at volume for pay-per-call if I'm using a pay-per-call exchange network, which is exactly what we're going to talk about today on the Video Marketing Blitz bonus webinar. We're going to be talking about using a pay-per-call exchange network. Okay, but if I'm doing pay-per-call where I'm working with a service provider personally or individually. In other words, if I've got a service provider that I've contacted that I'm creating an arrangement with, to, you know, where they're going to be purchasing leads from me, or they're going to be paying per call for calls generated or whatever, then a lot of the times I will brand it. I will either brand it for one of my own pseudo brands, I'm using air quotes right now, pseudo brands, which means like I'll create a kind of a brand name that then I can scale that out across multiple locations. If I'm going to be building out a website, I'll use subdomains with the city name as the subdomain, stuff like that. Like that's typically what I'll do. Or if it's a pay-per-call service provider that I'm working with that wants like a long-term engagement, or they're going to be doing a lot of volume with me or whatever, then sometimes I'll even build out branded assets based on their brand. Okay, I'll still own and control the assets, but I'll still put their branding on it. That way, it a lot of times will make the larger pay-per-call service provider, the service providers that I'm dealing with, it makes them happier to have all their branding on it, and it makes sense to do so. But I still like to own the assets. Okay, otherwise you're just doing client work, right? So, okay, Wong says, "Hi, Semantic Mastery team. Hope you guys are doing well. I have 2 questions to ask today." Excuse me. Question number 1, my money YouTube channel is only dating product review. When doing links to my IFTTT network, how do you guys find 200 plus keywords for the highest link building packages in the GSA blast for networks with current only 1 product review post? Also, is it safe to use link building from SERP space to my money YouTube channel? Okay, so for the keywords, what you want to do is, if you are drilling down into, like, if you're drilling down into a very, very specific keyword or a product name or something like that, then you need to back up. Like, think about it from a wider angle. Like, take a wider view of it and look for the more broad or general, the more category type keywords. In other words, what niche is that product in, and what kind of broader terms can describe that? Does that product or keyword fall within? Okay, and then just go with the more general terms, because remember, what we're trying to do with the link building service, guys, the spam links that we build, is not necessarily, it's to push juice into the infrastructure, right, into the network and into the structure. We're trying to push juice into the structure. It's not so much about the keywords. That's why we always talk about going with real broad terms, generics. I don't even use brand terms for the spam usually. I like to just use generics and URL anchors or naked anchors, and then the broadest of keywords. So, like, for example, if we're talking about tree service, and just as an example, we can go broader with home improvement and landscaping and gardening and hardscaping and those kind of things that aren't necessarily the same as tree service, but it's a broader term. Another thing is, and I know that you're talking about product review, but on a local level, if we're talking about, like, down on a local level, like, let's say Plumbers Atlanta, like if I was trying to rank something for Atlanta Plumber or Plumber Atlanta, whatever, then I would look for plumbing keywords, home improvement keywords, maybe remodeling keywords, right? All of those types of things that plumbing can fall within, but I wouldn't be looking for, like, plumbing repair Atlanta, not for those types of links. Like, those link building packages, I wouldn't use any local modifier. And I know you weren't asking about local, but what I'm trying to do is just illustrate how you want to go with broader terms, right? And you can pick a broader topic that your topic falls within and use those as well. Because, again, all we're trying to do is go out from, like, think of it like a funnel, guys. You've got the top of funnel, which is the widest and the broadest, and then you got all the way down at the bottom, the exit point of the funnel. That is your most narrow, your most targeted keyword. That's what you want to rank for. What you want to do with the link building packages is always go with, like, the top of funnel type keywords, the broadest of keywords. Does that make sense? Maybe Hernan, can you comment on that, because I know you might be able to explain it a different way.
Yeah, just have in mind that we don't. I mean, we ask for those kind of keywords, but we also throw in the mix URLs and generics. Right. So we don't end up. I mean, we end up using the entire list, but we also mix it up with generics and URLs. So the amount of, the possibilities of 2 links with the same keyword, repeating the same keywords, are, like, near none. My point here is that when I'm doing that, and sometimes it happens, we are using a great tool called Keyword Sheeter. That's a tool that you can get access to from the forum itself. It will redirect you to Keyword Sheeter, and they are using Google Suggest to scrape all of those keywords. But it happens to me also on forum. You need to be, if your case is that, like, a dating review, I would do dating, you know, like the broad niche, so that you can have a ton of different variations of the keywords over there, and that they are still relevant somehow, you know.
Yeah, and I'm going to show just a real quick demo, guys, of this, just real quick, because, and I dropped the link on the event page just a second ago, but this is my favorite keyword tool of all time, guys, and it's no doubt, and I think it's $57, and I just dropped the link. Seriously, it's one time, and it's probably the best $57 I've ever spent online, because I use this tool religiously, guys, and it's a great tool. And so for something like you, like dating channel is only dating product review. I don't know what the name of the product is, but guys, what is it? The Tao of Badass or something? Give me a dating product, somebody. Title.
Yeah, that's how Badass can do.
Is it TAO of Badass or
TAO? Yeah, TAO.
It comes up. All right, so you guys can see this. This is Power Suggest Pro, and I put Tao of Badass in, which would be just a dating product, right? So my point is, put your dating product in, and now look at this, guys. It's already at 200 keywords, and it's only been about 10 seconds. And so what this is doing is pulling out all the Google Suggest terms that use that product review in there, that title. So that's something else that you could use as anchor text, just these types of keywords. The other thing you could do is go with other dating products. Right, other dating products, guys, because they're still in the same niche. And I know it might seem counterintuitive to do that, but we're talking about going out 3 and 4 tiers with anchor text. So it does make sense, because it would be a similar product that eventually leads down to the one product that you're promoting. So it does make sense to actually have some of those other product titles as anchor texts, product names as anchor text, way out at like tier 3 and 4. Okay, does that make sense? So anyways, I'm going to stop this now, but there's 365 keywords right there, and it was only it was a little bit over halfway done, or about not even halfway done, excuse me.
And you didn't even use the wildcard, so.
No, and I did. Well, this has got the wildcard with the suffix on it. So, but yeah, you could do all different kinds of stuff. Put the little asterisk in, and anyways, it's a great tool, guys. Pick it up. So the second question is, Bradley and IFTTT SEO Academy. If we were using Tier 1 IFTTT blog RSS to syndicate content to Tier 2 blogger blog, wouldn't attribution link to your money YouTube video from your Tier 1 blog get syndicated to your Tier 2 blogger blog, and IFTTT.com will create another attribution link to your Tier 1 blog as well? First of all, those of you that didn't follow that question, don't worry about it. I'm going to answer this for Wong, but I can understand if everyone else just got a headache. I totally get it. What you're asking about, Wong, is, first of all, IFTTT does not create an attribution link unless you code it in to the actual recipe itself in the ingredient section, which is fine, and we teach to do that. For example, and I know what you're asking about here, when we syndicate from YouTube to a Tier 1 network, in the recipes, the video recipes, we always have via, right? So we say watch on YouTube here, and we use the YouTube URL, and then the anchor text is typically the title. It could also be the URL if you wanted. And then we say via, and then it's your channel URL goes here, right? And the anchor text is typically either your channel URL, so a naked URL, or you could put the channel name in there, or keywords. It doesn't matter. You can code in whatever you want. So yes, on a second tier syndication, that same description will be posted in the second tier blog sites as well. So you will actually be getting a Tier 1 link from the second tier blog properties. That's fine though, because it's YouTube. It makes no difference whatsoever. When we talk about syndicating blog content to 2 tiers, we talk and in the training, I specifically reference this in the training, that if you're doing 2-tier syndication for blog syndication, for blogs or website content, then you want to only use an attribution link that points back to the post and not back to the homepage as well. So you omit the homepage attribution, and then you also need the related content sources as Tier 2 triggers to help minimize footprint. You can't eliminate it, but you can minimize it. Okay, but for YouTube, it's no issues. So my point is, yes, with a two-tier network system for YouTube syndication, your Tier 1 syndication is going to have a link back to your video, a Tier 1 embed, a Tier 1 link to your video, and a Tier 1 link to your channel. On the Tier 2 syndications, it's going to have all of what I just mentioned, so an embed, a Tier 1 link to your video, and a Tier 1 link to your channel. And it's also, if you code it with the Tier 2 recipes, right, you can also have a attribution link pointing back to the Tier 1 blog that's syndicated to the Tier 2 property. And that's fine, because then what you're doing is you're creating like a little link wheel, a little network, where you're linking to the original source and to the first tier syndication point. So you're basically pushing juice into the video, to your channel, and to the tier 1 blog all at the same time. And it makes no difference. That is exactly how it should look when you're done for YouTube syndication. So he asks, am I setting up my tier 2 recipe correctly if above scenario happens, or is there any mistake I should rectify? No, that is absolutely fine, Wong. Again, there's no footprint issues with YouTube syndication. So because of that, we don't worry about it. But that was a great question, by the way. Okay, Ryan says, I've been loving Bluechip Backlinks. Do you do anything to get your HTML sites re-indexed faster? Thanks. Ryan, the best thing to do is just go submit them directly to Google Search Console. That's it. You guys know the submit crawl URL. Look, just go to Google and type in crawl URL. And it's the very first link right up here. Or excuse me, the second link. Or if you put submit URL, it will give you it'll be the first link. But you just click on that. You have to be logged into a Google account, but you just drop the homepage URL there, do the CAPTCHA, and click submit request. That's it. That's all you got to do. Usually within about 30 seconds it'll be indexed. It's not always the case, but usually. Okay? That's all I do. Willie says, when doing tier 1 blog syndication, how often should posts have anchor text links back to a money site? For example, first post has anchor text to money site, second post has anchor text or naked URL back to money site. Should every post include a link back to money site? I am thinking not every post. Well, actually, Willie, I do. I put a link in every single post because remember, the blog syndication, you're blogging on site. In other words, your money site is where your blog is. So when you're blogging, when you're creating a post, publishing a post to your blog, you want an internal link from that post to one of the pages on your site, right? You're going to select a topic, then you're going to post or blog about that topic, and then within the link, within the content body, you're going to put a contextual link up to one of the pages on your site that the topic was about, right? Because that's essentially what the way that we do. We use blogging and IFTTT for SEO is to use the blog for link building purposes to rank the pages on the site. It's not necessarily to rank the blog post. If the blog post rank, that's a bonus. That's benefit. That's all gravy. That's extra cream on top. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to do with the blog essentially is to rank the pages on the site. And I use the blog as my content marketing and link building engine, if that makes sense. So I always link from within the content of the blog post to one of the pages on the site that I want to rank. But I do vary how I link to it. So it's not always an anchor text link, right? Sometimes it's naked URL, sometimes it's generic, like read more or click here, right? Other times it's where it's essentially like a curated post. Like in other words, I can create a post on my own site and actually curate a snippet, a couple sentences or a short paragraph from one of the pages on the site, and then I can link using a more of a conversational type title to that as the source, right? So I'm essentially citing my own website as a source for that blog post. So if you know anything about curating, whenever you are giving attribution to the source, a lot of the times you can use the title of that post or whatever the article that you're citing as the actual anchor text. So I do the same thing with pages. So it varies. My point is, yes, you want some diversity in how you link to your pages from within your posts, but just about, I would say, 98% of all posts that I do on all of my sites do link to a page on the site at some point. All right. Run out of time, guys. We only got a few minutes left, but we'll try to get through a couple more. Scott says, when making the videos clickable in order to take a visitor to a landing page through YouTube and having an associated website, do the videos remain clickable when they are syndicated across the networks? Or are they only clickable on YouTube but not Tumblr, Twitter, etc.? No, because it's an iframe that's being the embed, a video that gets embedded on other properties is still YouTube, right? It's still YouTube, just YouTube as iframed onto that page. So an external annotation, or any annotation, it doesn't have to be external. It could be linking to another video on your channel, whatever. Any sort of annotation, a clickable annotation link, should be viewable wherever it's syndicated to. It should still function properly, is my point, because it's just an iframe of the YouTube video. So you're essentially piping YouTube into that web page. Does that make sense?
Yep. I just wanted to add real quick that external annotations will not work on mobile.
That's right.
So you need to have that in mind. That's where cards come into play. So you want to use both. You want to use external annotations and cards, because the cards will be seen on, they will be active on mobile. You know, on mobile it's big right now. So if you're using external annotations, do a card or two as well.
That's correct. All right, next question is, how many videos do you put in a YouTube channel? I hear some put a max of 15 because YouTube does shut down channels, and it hurts less to lose 15 videos in a channel that are making money rather than lose 100 videos in a channel that are making money. Well, I agree with you on your second point, Scott. It certainly hurts less to lose a channel with only 15 videos than it would with 100. See what Justin DiCarlo posted earlier, okay, as case in point. 50 videos on that channel, and he hasn't lost the channel, but apparently for whatever reason the channel's been demoted or whatever the case may be. So my point is, yeah, you know, you lose 50 videos, it hurts a lot more than losing 15. I agree. I don't know who told you the 15 number, because I have channels with literally hundreds and hundreds of videos. In fact, I have a 100% spam channel that I used with Hangout Millionaire to spam exotic car rental keywords, and it has 960 some videos on that channel, and there were 100% spam videos, and that channel is alive and well, and it has been for 2 years. No shit, 2 years, guys, almost 1,000 videos on that channel, and they're total spam videos, and they're still alive today. Okay, so the 15 videos thing is not, I don't know who told you that. There's certainly something to be said for limiting the amount of videos per channel, but if you've got a channel and you're not doing anything real spammy with it, chances are you're not going to lose it anyways. It's not always the case. I mean, again, look at Justin, what we're talking about with Justin, although that wasn't terminated, at least not yet. So my point is, I do recommend splitting it up, guys, like trying to spread your eggs across multiple baskets. That way you never just lose one basket and you're done. You're you know, game over. But you know, you also have to think about, you know, what is the cost of time and energy and effort and resources, money, all of that it's going to cost to continue to build out additional networks and additional channels. So you got to find that happy medium somewhere. And I can't tell you what that happy medium is. It's going to depend on you and your you know, how comfortable you are with risk and all that kind of stuff. All right, we'll go through. Go ahead.
No, just something real quick. I've never really seen anyone lose a channel unless you get really bad, like trying to do 2,000 videos in a day. YouTube doesn't really like that.
Yeah.
But if you keep it within reason, you're not going to lose it. And if you save your video files in case you do lose it, then you have a channel just waiting to be made, right? Because you have the video files, you just upload, you know what ranked, you have all the intelligence. So again, we go back to Justin. Losing it does not mean that it's over. It just means that you have to go and redo, rethink, and start again. But you already have it built up, so yeah. It's a win-win as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. All right, this is the last question, guys, because we got to wrap it up. Greg says, what's the best WordPress theme to use for primarily video embedding from YouTube Silo? Greg, it really doesn't matter. It's completely up to you. There are some video type themes out there, and seriously, what I would just do is go to Google and type in video WordPress themes, right? Something like that, WordPress themes, and I would just start looking for them. Now, what you do want to look for, I would recommend, and you can go through, and I mean that's what I've done in the past, is go through and just try to find something that I like, that looks good or whatever. But something else that you kind of want to look for now is look for themes that are marked up with structured data or semantic markup, okay? That especially if you're going to be doing video stuff, that if it has video schema built in to the actual theme, then that's going to help you a whole lot, because that's really where the power comes in, or you can get more power out of using an associated website for YouTube syndication and for, you know, embedding and stuff if you get video schema or video structured data, video markup on that theme. And so that's what you really want to be looking for. But really, as far as what theme is the best, it's like here's one that says VideoTube. I don't know. You just have to go look through them, and that would be a feature that I would be looking for right now. Would be looking for anything that gives video markup that's built into the theme. Or you could use plugins to do that, and then pretty much use any theme. For example, Yoast has the video SEO plugin, which will actually add the video markup to every video on your site. And it'll give you a video sitemap as well that's marked up properly. So that, I mean, it's expensive. It's expensive as hell, that plugin. but it is a good plugin for video markup. And there's probably alternatives out there now too. You just have to do some digging. Okay, I have a video SEO plugin, Yoast Video SEO plugin add-on, so I usually use that. But there's also some of the, let's see, there's like Pinboard WordPress themes. Those are pretty good for video. Pinboard WordPress theme. This might be it here. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would do, is just go look for different themes and try to find one that you like, and then again look for structured data if possible. If not, you can always add it with the plugin later. Okay. Okay, guys. Well, that was it for Hump Day Hangout. Sorry we didn't get to the rest of the questions, but we had some good ones today, so we appreciate that. We will see everybody next week. And Video Marketing Blitz, guys, you can see I moved my curtain. It was too damn hot. We'll see Video Marketing Blitz, guys, in just a few minutes. Otherwise, the rest of you guys, we have a Mastermind Makeup webinar tomorrow, so we'll see those of you guys tomorrow as well. See you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.